Welcome to Gritcast. This is Latoya Hardman Lewis, and this session is on understanding grit. In order for us to begin to infuse grit into the areas where we work, we need to make sure that we know it. So, what that is going to include is understanding the definition of grit, the dimensions of grit, and the qualities of grit. And this quick Gritcast session will help you understand all three of these. Now, there are many definitions of grit out there, but the framework that we're using here at Lone Star College Tomball begins with Dr. Paul G. Stoltz and the work he has done. He's actually written a book called Grit, The New Science of What It Takes to Persevere, Flourish, and Succeed. And in that book, he tells us that grit is your capacity to dig deep, to do whatever it takes, especially struggle, sacrifice, even suffer, to achieve your most worthy goal. Okay, so according to Dr. Stoltz, there are four dimensions of grit. And so these are things that we do to demonstrate our grit when we have a specific goal. So the G represents growth, and growth is about how likely we are to seek out fresh ideas to achieve the goals that we've set for ourselves. So in Juan's weight loss challenge, which is also a Gritcast video, Juan wants to get healthy and he's tried diet and exercise and he's tried some other things, but this time he's going to try to drink a gallon of water a day. And because Juan is trying something new, he's demonstrating growth. The R is about resilience, and resilience is about bouncing back from adversity. So if we have a goal, but we hit a roadblock, what do we do? Do we stop? If we do, we're not being very resilient. But if we find a way to use our adversity to achieve our goal, then we're demonstrating resilience. Then the I is for instinct, and this is all about how we go about our goals. Are we going about them in the best way or the hardest way? If we're going about them in the best way, then we're demonstrating good instinct. And then finally, there's tenacity. And oftentimes, or often when we think of tenacity, we think of grit, right? We think that's what grit means. And so tenacity is just our ability to persevere and to stick with whatever goals that we have set for ourselves. A lot of times people don't really know the difference between resilience and tenacity. So they feel like these two things sound very similar. Well, in this case, I want you to think about having an obstacle. So if there's no obstacle in the way, then you may be being more tenacious than resilient. For example, so let's say I'm on a weight loss journey and I've been going really strong, but I twist my ankle and I sprain my ankle. Well, there's an obstacle, right? And so I have to figure out how I'm going to continue working toward my goal with this new obstacle. If I'm successful in that, then I'm being resilient. Whereas with tenacity, maybe I just get tired of the diet and exercise. There's not really anything that has gotten in my way. I just no longer want to do it. So if that's the case, then I'm just not being very tenacious. So resilience and tenacity do sound very similar, but with resilience, it's all about, does that person face some sort of adversity? In addition to the dimensions of grit, Dr. Stoltz also tells us about the qualities of grit in his book. And so, first, we have our good grit and our bad grit. Good grit means that we go after our goals in a way that's going to enhance or build up the people around us. So, if we are trying to be healthy, then maybe we are going to try to make sure that the people around us are being healthier, that we're giving them, sharing recipes with them. But we just want our experience and our experience going after our goals to benefit the people around us. Whereas bad grit is when you go after your goals in a way that has a negative effect on people. And so we all know these stories, right? We know people that maybe we've worked with or that we live with, and when they get really stressed out at work or at school, they make everyone else around them stressed out. Well, that's an example of bad grit. Then we also have smart grit and dumb grit. So this is about how we go after our goals when maybe we aren't getting the results that we necessarily want. So if we reassess and reroute how we go after our goals, then we're demonstrating smart grit. But if we continue to go after our goals in the same way, even though they're not producing the results that we want, um, we're demonstrating dumb grit because we continue to go after those goals in the same way every time. And so, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for our very first Gritcast session. Remember, we want these to be under 10 minutes. We want them just to be quick so that you can get the information that you need to be successful in what it is that you're doing. But if you do have questions, you can follow up with me. My contact information is here, or you can just continue to watch the Gritcast videos. Thanks, everyone, and have a great day.